We mentioned guys like, Brandon Roy and Jamal Crawford and stuff. I've heard Austin and Doc argue about whose generation was better all the time. How do you compare the eras? How do you stack up? Do you think basketball is better than it's ever been right now? Do you have all the respect in the world for the guys like in the 90s?
We heard last night at dinner a friend of ours say that Michael Jordan only ever had one impressive dunk in the NBA. And I was just like, brother, this stuff is getting out of hand. You guys need to do we got to have some people do some research here, man. It's getting, I hate comparing eras because the evolution of basketball is just like a real thing, just like the evolution of everything else. How can you compare Bill Russell to a center now? Bill Russell didn't have proper training, bro. Those guys are hooping on.
No, it's better now. And then you take some of these players now and put them, bro, if you put Giannis in that era, he would have been the best player to ever touch a basketball. Like he would have scored probably down. He would have
broke Wilt's record. He would have had a game with like 140.
But
that's, and people say, we say that and people think we're being disrespectful, but that's
like Austin, if you say that and that blows up, you just get so much hate.
No,
like,
but
that's just like the way it is.
Truth. I think the fact that people are like in all of that comment is just so comedy to me.
But stuff is supposed to evolve.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like he's supposed to have 140. It's not a flex.
As humans, we're supposed to evolve and get better the longer we're doing something, right? So like the players now are obviously going to be more skilled than some of the players back then. But there's definitely players you could have took him from back then and put him in today's game, and they would have just adapted. And like if you put Michael Jordan in today's game, I'm sure he's shooting way more threes. He's probably still by far the best player in the NBA, But I do think that the majority, I feel like it just keeps getting better and better and better. You get more and more skill development, Yeah, I think, but I don't know. Yeah, like you said, I don't know why people, or even like the old heads, why they would get mad at that. Me and B. Roy talk about that. But then there's guys that definitely are cold no matter the era. We were talking about like Baron Davis, certain dudes that are just, it doesn't matter where you put them. They can shoot, strong, there's cold hoopers the whole time hoop has existed, but it's getting better and better, and that's the way it should be, I feel like.
100%. I mean, Anthony Edwards kind of touched on that. He said I think he was at the Fanatics convention, and he was like, he said a Jordan comment because they stayed in those comparisons, but he kind of mentioned how during that era, Jordan was just so superior in skill wise that it's just different now.
Yeah.
How it's way harder now to be this versus then, and et cetera. But again, they didn't have the knowledge that we have now. They're not doing this type of training. I learned a Euro step in ninth grade, 10th grade. That's when that first started to become popular. Kids are doing Euro steps in third grade now because they already had access to it. Do you know what I'm saying? It's just like the evolution of timing of these kids learning things at an earlier age is just, you can't argue it. So Giannis, or bro, if you put myself in the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, I'd probably be in Cleveland with like a red coat last year. I would have been a top 75 player of all time. But that's not a flex. I'm supposed to do that based off of my skill. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you gave those guys the same level of skill, the same level of training and know-how, those guys would have been even more supreme of players. Like if Clyde Drexler was shooting 500 threes a day, he would have been a much better three-point shooter. Do you know what I mean? But we fault them for not doing that. But they didn't shoot a lot of threes then. The game wasn't played that way. So it's very weird to compare eras because it's like, it's just with evolution. Yeah. It's like, come on, man,
I don't know why it's a sensitive subject, though.
It's just because I think it starts usually with the GOAT debate. That's when it starts because people debate LeBron, Jordan. And then we start getting into accolades. Then we start getting into eras. Well, LeBron played against the best team in the world, the Warriors. If the Warriors would have played in that era, the Warriors, and then it's like a snowball thing of like how people start comparing.
Okay. But honestly, if the Warriors played in that era,
yeah, they would have won 8. They would have won 78-4.
And they probably would have won 10 straight championships.
Yeah, that's the greatest team I think I've ever seen. Are you arguing this, Pausha? He's a big LeBron over Mike guy.
Are you?
I'm not. No. I agree with Michael though. Like things are evolving. People are better. Austin, you told me that if you played in the 70s, you would have a statue outside of an arena. Like, so you agree with what I'm saying that things are just getting better and better, right?
Yeah, of course. And I say that to be funny and satire, but like the truth of the matter is, with like I said, evolution. Like it's not a flex. I'm supposed to be better. Those guys were dribbling up the left side like their right hand. They didn't know how to do the things that we have.
But their argument is that you're not as tough as them, though. You know what I mean? Like Doc told us that you're.
I don't know what that means.
If you put any dude in that era, they're just going to adapt to the way that the refs.
Yeah, bro, by the way, me being able to guard with hand checking would be, oh my god. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. That's like the only thing they have is this tough thing. They like fall back on it because they can't argue the other stuff.
Yeah, it's tough. Okay, but that's just because the way the refs ref the game. They changed the rules of the game. That doesn't mean dudes are less tough. It's just if they stuck today's players back then, you would just adapt to the way they're refereeing the game. It's not. That is what they try to fall back on, though, for sure. Wait, so you said Braun over MJ?
Yeah, you are a Braun over MJ, and it's heavy and it's clear. So don't do this now.
I don't necessarily like. I think MJ. I didn't watch every single one of his games. I watched, obviously some of his games. Man, like to me, that's the GOAT. But LeBron is not a bet because longevity at some point has to play a part in the GOAT debate. And how long he's been great. And
it makes it harder. He's continually making it harder and harder to argue against.
Yeah, the longevity has to count for something.
My issue is why do we have to? If we agree that they're two of the top three guys, why do we have to put down the other one? Why can't we just? I wouldn't have a problem if someone said Jordan was 1 and LeBron was 2, or LeBron's 1 and Jordan's 2. Like why can't? I hate that we have to put down the other one. This is politics.
But how are you supposed to argue your point without saying one does better?
Because when I say LeBron, if I think LeBron's better than Jordan, that doesn't mean I think Jordan stinks. Like that's insane.
No one said that, but you have to start saying things that disqualify him from being one. There has to be a reason why you're.
I know, but it gets nasty. It gets nasty, and that especially in today's media and stuff
who's your top 5 then? If you had to put top 5 across all.
Austin, do you want to
go? It'd be Michael, Braun, Kobe, Tim Duncan. And my 5th was.
So you have to put Kareem. You have to put Kareem somewhere up there. His resume is insane.
Okay, but are we going resume or are we going basketball players? Like how?
If we're going resume, then Kareem would be 1.
Yeah,
if we're going resume, Kareem has the most impressive basketball resume ever.
If you're going basketball players, Steph is up there. I don't care what people say. KD's up there. Like you would have to put KD and Larry Bird as well.
He gave me a hard time because I put KD in my top 10. And he was like, "That's absurd of all time."
Why though? It's just
no. I didn't say it's absurd. I said you left out Larry Bird, so that's just a tough one. Larry Bird, Kevin Durant. I know what you're saying though. Like,
in today's NBA, if you're starting in both of their prime, like who's
people would.
I understand.
There are people who would be like Larry Bird. There are people who would say that.
I mean, he was cold, but come on, bro. Just basketball player KD's like
yeah.
Well, again, okay, so Austin says like Kyrie Irving's the most skilled player of all time. That's what Austin says, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think so.
So Michael, do you agree with that?
There's different ways of skill, different.
It'd be him or like Kobe.
Him or Kobe, or you really could put Steph up there if you really wanted to say skill wise. It's just a different.
Only difference is Steph don't have like a bro. Kyrie has a post game. He has a left hook shot.
He does, but all that floating it high, like there's different skills, but. Oh, well-rounded, yes. Kyrie.
Yeah, I'm saying Kyrie has more of a bag than Steph.
Yeah,
Steph's a better shooter.
Yeah,
but like Kyrie, you can go throw it to him on an island. Steph doesn't do a lot of one-on-one with guards. He does a one-on-one when he gets a switch with a big.
He doesn't, but his shooting is so superior to anyone else.
No, that's fair. He's the greatest marksman I've ever seen. There's a reason why he's like his golfing's insane. He's like a scratch professional golfer. He has this. His hand-eye is like on some different shit. Yeah. He'd probably be a great Formula One driver if he was lighter. No bullshit. His hand-eye is impressive, but yeah, I don't know. Top 5 is tough, man. I guess if we're going skill, bro, if we're going skill in that resume, it'd be Michael, Kobe, LeBron. Not in any order. Michael, Kobe, LeBron. I'd probably go KD, and then I'd go Tim Duncan. And Shaq's a close guy right there. That's like
and
the
I'm
best.
not gonna hold you. After a few more years, they're gonna put Nicole. They gotta at some point put Nicole up there as top.
And Steph's up there too.
Nicole is dang near already made his case for like top 15 ever, to be honest.
If he retired tomorrow, he's top 20, 100%.
3 MVPs?
Does he have 3?
He has 3.
3's OD. 3's OD. You understand? Like winning 1, you're valid for the rest of your life.
He lost, he really could have won.
Derrick Rose won 1 MVP, bro. And people are like, he is a grail. You know what I'm saying? Like, this dude has won 3, and people don't even talk about it like that. Is it just? It's just because it's foreign and his personality.
Yeah, he's
not a guy on commercials.
He's not.
It's kind of how we don't talk about Tim Duncan a lot, but like Tim Duncan's the best power forward of all time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Who would be a better power forward?
At the end of their career, Giannis will be one of the best power forwards.
But he won't be over Tim.
Not over Tim, but him, Dirk, Giannis is in that conversation.
Tim won how many MVPs? Tim won like 3?
Well,
But they were
probably 3 or 4.
They had a squad though. He was winning. If Giannis's team was like winning,
won 5 championships, bro. I don't know.
Oh wait, Tim won 5.
5.
Oh yeah, that's nuts.
Yeah,
bro. And then
I'm saying,
he went to the
Giannis's
playoffs.
career, they'll be like he's one of the best power forwards of all time.
He was in the playoffs every year of his career. He's never missed for 18 years. Every year he went to the playoffs.
No, he never won less than 50 games in a season his entire career.
Yes, it's like silly stuff for him. He's got.
He's a winner,
bro.
A crazy one.